Saigon. Shit. I'm still only in Saigon.
All right there. This is... I've still got a bad throat, but this is fucking heartbreaking. I nearly started crying listening to this poor girl. Universities are fucked. Social justice has fucked them. Don't go. You can learn anything you want off the internet. Unless you're doing a specialist subject, unless you can keep away from these lunatics. If you do go to university, make it your priority. You do not get involved with anything to do with social justice unless it is to condemn it. So Lindsay Shepherd, teaching assistant at Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada. She dared show a clip by Jordan Peterson. That's it. That's all she done. Played a couple of minutes of Jordan Peterson, one of the most interesting and engaging people on the internet today, which makes him kind of one of the most interesting and engaging people in the world. Let's have it right. So many people watched his videos. People like his presentation. He's clearly an intelligent man. You don't have to agree with him. That's not what university is about. But university is about challenging ideas. Or at least it was. So Lindsay Shepherd, this teaching assistant, cleverly recorded her little Gestapo-like interrogation. And you can hear her breaking down. She must feel like it. This is like one of those like Children of the Damned or something, or Stepford Wives or something. She just must have sat there thinking, this has got to be a fucking dream. This can't be real. I'm at university to learn. I'm at university to challenge. I want to hear as many different ideas as possible. No one's getting hurt. There's no guns in here. There's no bombs in here. These are words. These are ideas. Shit. I'm going to play you this clip. It goes on for a while, so I'll be giving a bit of a commentary. But check this out. This is her after she dared play some Jordan. That's it. That's all she done. Played a clip. They dragged her in, and this is what happened.
Seen as problematic by some of the students, maybe even threatening.
The Jordan Peterson video was considered problematic by some of the students, even threatening. Really? That's what they saw. That's what they got from a clip. Chuck them out the university then. They need to be in a mental hospital. Not a fucking university.
I don't see how someone would rationally think it was threatening.
I don't see how someone with half a brain would see it as threatening. Of course not. This is university. It's meant to be challenging. And let's have it right. This is Jordan Peterson here. It's not that challenging. It's just rational.
I could see how it might challenge their existing ideas, but for me, that's the spirit of the university, is challenging ideas that you already have.
Can you imagine actually having to say that, being a teaching assistant and having to explain to people that, you know, I kind of thought that being at university would be about... Yeah, I can't, but she must have just said, what the fuck is happening?
And I don't know who this came from. I would be interested to see the original complaint or complaints because, like, I don't really have any context, like, as to what exactly their problem was.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get to see them, love, because it probably wasn't any of them. It was probably the tutors.
Sorry, can I...
The thing is, can you shield people from those ideas? Am I supposed to comfort them and make sure that they are insulated away from this? Like, is that what the point of this is?
Am I meant to keep these students in an ideological echo chamber designated by you freaks? Because it fucking sounds like it.
Because to me, that is so against what a university is about. So against it. I was not taking sides. I was presenting both arguments.
Classic. Exactly what you meant to do. That's how you do it. Here's one premise, here's another one. Let's look at them together. Let's see how they contradict each other. Let's see how they agree with each other. Let's see if we can dialectically move it forward. No, not in university. We've got one idea, one set of principles, and we're sticking with it. Otherwise, you're hurting people. You're hurting people with these ideas.
So the thing is about this is, if you're presenting something like this, you have to think about the kind of teaching climate that you're creating. And this is actually, these arguments are counter to the Canadian human rights code.
The Human Rights Code. Jordan Peterson saying that compelled speech has issues. Wow. You haven't got any human rights left if you're actually going to implement that kind of authoritarian bullshit. Christ, I wouldn't bother trying to defend human rights. It's all over. You're not even allowed to teach when you're a teacher.
Ever since, and I know that you talked about C16, ever since this passed, it is discriminatory to be targeting someone due to their gender identity or gender expression.
Stroker like he's not doing that then, isn't it? Have you actually watched him? Have you actually listened to what he said?
So bringing something like that up in class, not critically, and I understand that you're trying to like...
It was critical.
Not critically, straight away, it was critical. Okay, that's now, deal with what she just said. I wonder if they will, or whether we'll just go on to the next bit of nonsense.
I introduced it critically.
Amazing silence, because he's only got one option here. He can only say, no, you didn't. Well, let's see where he goes.
How so? Like
I said,
challenging her. How did you do that? Go on and prove it. Prove it. Imagine she said, well, to prove that to you, I'm going to have to show you the tape. But I don't know if you can handle it. Maybe we should get some doctors in here before we play it.
It was in the spirit of debate.
Okay, in the spirit of the debate is slightly different than being like, okay, this is like a problematic idea that we want to unpack.
But that's taking sides.
Yes.
Like, it's taking sides for me to be like, oh, look at this guy. Like, everything that comes out of his mouth is BS, but we're going to watch anyway.
Okay.
Amazing. She's used it back on them. She presented it critically of both, and they're trying to say to her, no, you should not have that there. Oh, what, you mean taking sides? Amazing. Yeah, you just fed me that. I've just given it back to you. Where are you going to go now?
So I understand the position that you're coming from and your positionality, but...
Your positionality? Unconvincing use of words, my friend. I understand the position you're coming from. Your positionality.
The reality is...
Amazing. But regardless of what you think, the truth, the reality is, let's hear it.
That it has created a toxic climate.
Fuck you. You've created a toxic climate with all this nonsense. If none of you had stood up there with your fucking handbags in the first place, Jordan Peterson would just be another lecturer telling people what he thinks. And it would have been wonderful. He won't say Z. He won't say Z. Yours.
For some of the students.
How many?
It's great that...
Ooh, like how many?
Okay.
One?
Yeah.
I like her aggro. How many people complained? How many people does it take to remove an entire body of thought away from this university? How many people have to come up to you and say, ooh, it made me feel uncomfortable for an absolute key critical debate that is happening in the world? How many people does it take to have that removed? It doesn't happen. No. Bend it, shake it. Not listening. It didn't happen. This debate is not happening. I bet it was none. But it was just the tutor. Just people who don't like Jordan Peterson.
May I speak?
I have no concept of like how many people complained, like what their complaint was. You haven't showed me the complaint.
Yes, I understand that this is...
You know what? It's quite sad now. I can hear her voice breaking, and I remember being at my second art college, and I got in a bit of trouble over something quite stupid that I was drunk and caused some problems. And I remember being in there, and during the conversation, I remember thinking, actually, you might have fucked up here, Dangerfield. This is your future, and if you get chucked out of this university, this was your plan for your 20s. And I remember it was kind of heartbreaking because I realised the seriousness of it. And she's a teaching assistant. This is her career. This is a young, ambitious woman. And all she's done is nothing. She has done nothing wrong. Not even close. This is ideological bullying. And it's sad to hear her voice break like that. And I hope she's getting some fucking real support. Not these fucking libtards.
It's upsetting, but there's also confidentiality matters.
The number of people is confidential?
Yeah.
She's really good, man. This is confidential. What, the number of people? That doesn't expose anyone. Well done, Lindsay.
Yes.
He said yes. Hang on, I shouldn't have been rabbiting over that. I'll take it back, Ted. Listen,
Yes, I understand that this is upsetting, but there's also confidentiality matters.
The number of people is
With respect-
confidential?
Yes.
I'd have just said no. I'd have started punching myself. Wake me up! The number of people is confidential. How can that possibly damage or hurt or do anything? It's inconsequential. If he'd said 3 people complained, 50 people complained, 1 person complained, how that it's inconsequential. But he can't tell them. I wonder why. I wonder why this has been brewed up by staff.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows she's living in a fucking dream world stroke nightmare.
One or multiple students who've come forward saying that this is something that they were concerned about and that it made them uncomfortable. You're perfectly welcome to...
Not comfortable. I was in university and art colleges for nearly 7 years. We had some tear-ups in those debates. Oh my gosh. We talked about feminism, we discussed rape, we discussed sexual abuse, we looked at Shakespeare, we dealt with things and people standing up and screaming. Oh, it was uncomfortable, it was amazing. We were learning, we were being challenged to our core. Our core beliefs were being challenged, were being torn up and thrown out the window. Not these days. Miss, I felt uncomfortable. Can we not have any Jordan Peterson or any of those ideas ever again? Thanks. And what do the staff do? Certainly.
Your own opinions, but when you're bringing it into the context of the classroom, that can become problematic.
Fuck you.
And that can become something that creates an unsafe learning environment for students.
They're not even joking. Unsafe. Every time you mention Jordan Peterson's name, the whole room starts shaking. You have to wear a bulletproof vest when you go and see him lecturing, because as he speaks, 17 students died this Thursday as Jordan Peterson spoke. For fuck's sake.
Students.
But when they leave the university, they're going to be exposed to these ideas. So I don't see how I'm doing a disservice to the class.
You're not. Exactly. You're at university to learn. Oh, they're your ideas, are they? Here's some ideas that challenge that. Put them with your ideas, read them all together and come out of it with something else. That's called learning. It used to happen in universities. Learning. Not anymore. It's just teaching.
By exposing them to ideas that are really out there. And I'm sorry I'm crying. I'm stressed out because this to me is so wrong. It's so wrong.
It is so wrong. It's absurd. It's obscene. It's surreal. This is surreal. This is actually happening. A teaching assistant played Jordan Peterson clip. Some ideas that they don't agree with. So, do these people study like Pol Pot? You know, the Khmer Rouge, Cambodia. Do they study that? Or do they ignore it because it was awful and terrible? Do they study the Russian Revolution? That wasn't too nice either. That is bad points. Second World War, First World War. I mean, oh God, that stuff can make you feel uncomfortable. Do they leave it all out and just talk about feminism?
Can I mention the gendered violence, gendered and sexual violence policy?
Gender and sexual violence policy. You know, university campuses, some of the safest places on the planet. It's got a gender and sexual violence policy.
Yeah, please.
So under that, it does, gendered violence doesn't just include sexual violence, but it also includes targeting folks based on gender.
Targeting folks based on gender. Yeah, find me Jordan Peterson doing that anywhere.
So that includes transphobia, biphobia, homophobia. All those sorts of things are protected under the policy, and so those are things that Laurier has upheld as values, as well as the Ontario Human Rights Code. And so those are things that we're responsible for.
If you had any fucking respect for these people, you'd let these ideas come out there. You don't get rid of them just by ignoring them. Just brush it under the carpet. Oh, it'll go away. It'll go away in a while. This huge pushback to social justice, which is going on the world over. No, just keep it at we don't let it into our university. It's not happening. It's not happening. If you respect trans people, bi people, gay people, all that lot, non-gender conforming, or if you actually respect them, you expose them to contrary ideas. Unless you are going to give them the bigotry of low expectations, no, it's all right. You don't have to listen to that. No, everything's rosy and lovely. Wait till you get out of that university. You'll find it's very, very different.
Not impacting our students in that way, and not spreading transphobia in that way.
Okay, so what I have a problem with is I didn't target anybody. Who did I target?
Trans folks.
How? By
Who did I target? She went, trans people.
telling them ideas that are really out there? By telling them that? By telling them? Really?
It's not just telling them in legitimizing this as a valid perspective.
It is a valid perspective. Just because it's not yours, it doesn't mean it's not valid, you arrogant piece of useless shit.
As this is another valid perspective.
In a
on these
university,
issues.
all perspectives are valid.
Yeah, really? I know what you mean, Lindsay. It used to be like that, didn't it? Yeah, weird. Cunts.
That's not necessarily true, Lindsay.
Well, this is something that's being debated in current society, and I don't feel the need
I've got to have that
to
again.
shield all.
Listen to that again. He actually says that's not necessarily true. Oh my gosh, listen.
Telling them in legitimizing this as a valid perspective.
Yeah, let's hear.
As this is another valid perspective.
In a
on these
university,
issues.
all perspectives are valid.
That's not necessarily true, Lindsay.
Yeah, and how isn't it? Who gets to say what's valid and what's not? You, I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you, and believe me, given the choice, I fucking would.
Well, this is something that's being debated in current society, and I don't feel the need to shield people from what's going on in society. Like,
Okay.
to imagine that this is happening in university, it's just bad.
Okay.
It's mind-blowing. This is like a nightmare. This is straight out of 1984. This isn't even the cosy, semi-humorous world of Brave New World. This is straight out of Wrongthink. This is disturbing. This is a terrible trend. I can't wait for this lot to come crumbling down. This is so terrifying. This isn't good. This goes only somewhere dark. These ideas, this kind of censorship, historically has been the precursor to some terrible, terrible human goings on. And it's all happening again in front of our eyes, clear as day. And they're not even pretending anymore.
So, just to give you a context, also within all of this that is happening, Laurier's being blanketed with white supremacist posters.
Laurier, the university, well, what they used to call a university, it sounds now just like a lot of ponces earning money, has been blighted by white supremacist posters. Do you know what they're talking about? The 4chan prank. Yeah. And you know what? It was a poster that says, it's okay to be white. 4chan, they come up with it. They said, stick this poster all around unis. And all the 4chaners did. It's okay to be white. The news had it on, calling it racist. You can't even say it's okay to be white now. And he's now, Laurier University has been blighted with white supremacist posters. What, a couple of neckbeards putting up a photocopy saying it's okay to be white. You absolute idiot.
Currently. There's another debate in society, which is whether or not North America should be a set of white nationalist states. And
now he's bringing up fucking Richard Spencer's ethno-states. How do you get from Jordan Peterson's concern over compelled speech to white ethno-states? Just chuck it all in. Incredible. You loser.
that
If you send some of your kids to university, these are the kind of lunatics that are going to clean their brains. Bear that in mind.
it should be ethnically
You'll be paying for that. Your kids will be paying for it for the rest of their life, financially and mentally and emotionally.
cleanse of other people. That is also a current debate in society.
So we'll have it then.
Would you show something in your tutorial that you had, white supremacists and non-white supremacists debating whether or not other people should live in North America.
Yeah, why not? If it's a debate that's going on, which it is, yes, I absolutely would. If I was doing a lecture, I have been a university lecturer in my time, and I certainly would have Jared Taylor in there. I certainly would have Richard Spencer in there. Yeah, let's listen to their ideas and then fucking debate them. That's why we're there. We don't teach people just what we already fucking know.
Is that something that you would show?
If that was related to the content of the week and we were talking about right-wing speech bubbles, maybe.
It's mad that she even had to answer that question. He basically just said, would you show something? Would you show something? Yeah, if it was relevant. You prick.
Okay.
It depends on the content. Like, I mean, if there's really ideas that are existing out there like that, then, I mean, look.
You can tell she's just thinking, what? Yes, I would use evidence from the world, writings and talkings and speeches, if it had something to do with what we were talking about. Yeah. Am I actually having to say this? She must have just been having a brain melt in there.
The thing is, like, I don't see what's transphobic about showing a video of Jordan Peterson.
Nothing.
He's a real person.
He is.
He's out there.
He is a real person, but he is a real person who has engaged in targeted behavior that or target.
There's a reason this idiot is struggling. He's engaged in targeted behaviour. Does he? No, not targeted behaviour. That old classic. Here, I got 2 possession charges, 1 with intent and a bit of targeted behaviour. Form as long as my arm.
Targeting of trans students, in a particular, like basically doxing them.
No. I would like to see your evidence for Jordan Peterson doxing students. Just pluck that out of the air. That's why he had to say basically doxing them. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did not. You liar. Now are you pretending that that's the issue now? Because a minute ago it was the content of what he said, which is different from the speaker. What he said or the speaker or the speech. What is it you got a problem with? Because you've now just moved. You've just shifted the goalposts. What a surprise for a social justice person to do such a thing.
If you know the term, like giving out their personal information so that they will be attacked, harassed, so that death threats will find them.
Death threats will find them. Oh my God, death threats will find them.
This is something that he has done to his own students.
No, he hasn't.
Done to other students.
No, he hasn't.
And this is also something that the students
and regardless,
are aware
let's
of.
imagine he had.
So
Let's imagine Jordan Peterson had doxed 1,000 students. Let's imagine he'd done that. And they'd all, and death threats had found them. I don't know what that means, but let's assume it had. How would that affect something he's written? How would that affect the message, the content of a speech he gave? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters here though. Oh yeah, it matters here, yeah. They're attacking him. This is like an ad hominem 101.
This is basically like playing, not to kind of do the thing where everything is kind of compared to Hitler, but this is like neutrally playing a speech by Hitler or Milo Yiannopoulos from Gamergate. This
is like playing a speech by Hitler or Milo Yiannopoulos. You crazy. I heard Hitler's speeches at art college. There's a very famous one he done on the degeneracy in art. They had an exhibition of degenerate art, and Hitler gave the speech to the opening of the exhibition of degenerate art. I read it out to my students when I was lecturing art students on psychoanalysis, and I got them to debate it. Didn't tell them who wrote it. I just got them to debate it. Most of them agreed with what he was talking about. At the end, when I gave out the photocopies, I said, "Here's a copy of that speech," and I just gave it to them. And of course, after the lesson in the canteen, they come up to, they were like, "Wow, that was clever." Yeah, because it said speech by Adolf Hitler. And Milo Yiannopoulos, what the fuck are you throwing him in there for? Gamergate? Oh my God, not Gamergate. What did they do? Did they send death threats out to get them? Gamergate. Just keep your social justice out of our fucking games. That's all that was. And Hitler. Twit.
This is the kind of thing that departmentally, in terms of like critical communication studies and in terms of the course of what we're trying to do, is diametrically opposed to everything that we've been talking about in the lectures.
Oh, you've been trying to teach something else, have you? You've got an echo chamber and you want to maintain it. That's what you just said, basically. How dare you come in with challenging ideas? This is a university. We haven't got time for that. Hey, prick.
Was this one of the reasons that you wanted to do this? Because it was like a reaction to the lecture content?
No, we were talking about gendered language, and I was asking them to structure sentences using they or using his or her. And then we talked about the societal context of it.
Okay.
So I don't...
Like something that's being talked about the world over, everywhere it would seem, apart from your poxy university.
Get why I'm being seen as transphobic by virtue, by proxy of me just saying, just stating, just exposing people to an idea. I don't get how that label is not attached to me.
Don't worry, Lindsay. The rest of the world knows that you're not. This is absolute bullshit. These lecturers are coming across as utter twits. We've seen them before. We'll see them again. It'll all fall down soon. Don't worry.
I really don't.
It must be like just terrifying. Just sitting there thinking, the fuck is happening? Fair play for her for getting a decent recording, though. Amazing.
It's more about the effect rather than the intention, if that...
More about the effect than the intention. Well, can you not say that about what Jordan said as well? Because, old Lindsay had watched the video and she seems all right, regardless of evil Adolf Jordan's intent.
Like, obviously that wasn't your intention, but
your unconscious racism, your unconscious transphobia is seeping out of you, you evil witch.
Nevertheless, it disturbed and upset students enough.
So everything's about those students who are disturbed?
Brilliant. Brilliant. So they get to dictate what everyone else can learn. They get to dictate what everyone else can be exposed to. All the evils of Jordan Peterson. So one, maybe two students complained and everyone else misses out. Nice equality you've got there.
Everything is catered to them.
Incredible silence. Because again, they've got one option. Yes or no. And because it's a yes, big pause.
Can I just
please.
offer...
Didn't answer that. Didn't answer it because it's yes. Yes, it is all about the one student that went up and went, I feel uncomfortable when Jordan Peterson come on.
different perspective.
Yeah, instead of answering that question, let's go somewhere else with it and try and attack her from another direction.
Was this a tutorial based on looking at grammar?
Mm-hmm.
And it was focused on the use of pronouns and the use of grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Is grammar not something that's not really subject to debate?
The they and the his or her, it's a huge debate right now. Can we use they in the singular?
Yeah, but you do know that they has actually been used in the singular.
Yeah, that was in the video I showed to the class.
Why are they treating her like she's an idiot? She did watch the video. She is aware of the debate. It sounds to me like you're not. Is this the first time you've heard of this stuff?
And that's just a point I made. And the thing is, what's kind of funny is I disagree with Jordan Peterson. I disagree.
There you go.
But you guys seem to think that I'm like pro Jordan Peterson or something. It's pretty...
She actually disagrees with him. That's the amazing thing. It's not about intent though. It's about effect.
Well, do you understand how what happened was contrary to... Sorry, Adrian, what was the policy? Gendered and sexual violence policy? Like, do you understand how...
But, sorry, what did I violate in that policy?
Yeah. All right, this is key. What did she violate?
So, gender-based violence, transphobia in that policy. Causing harm to trans students by...
Causing harm to trans students. What? There's only about 5 in the whole country, isn't there? This is bullshit. Harm. Oh, I don't like it. Do you know what? All day long I hear about how men are cunts and white men are cunts all day long. just brush it off. You play Jordan Peterson saying, I don't believe in compelled speech, I think it's dangerous, and you've caused them harm. Believe me, if that's harmed you, you're going to be dead within 6 months of leaving uni anyway. You might as well get out there now and find yourself a job.
Framing their identity as invalid, or their pronouns as invalid.
No, because they get to have an argument. They get to stand up for themselves. They get to say, I think Jordan Peterson is wrong because of this, because of this, because of this. They learn to articulate their thoughts. They learn to articulate themselves when challenging arguments. If you don't expose them to arguments that challenge their beliefs, they will never learn to articulate themselves. They will never learn anything. That's how you learn. You don't learn by saying what you already know. Jesus. Everything they say points to that. This is embarrassing. Wilfrid Laurier University, you are a joke. This is scandalous. This is embarrassing. I hope this causes you endless problems.
Or something
Potentially invalid.
So I caused harm,
which
and
is
violence.
under the Ontario Human Rights Code, a protected thing, and also something that Laurier holds as a value.
You're all pricks.
Okay. So, by proxy of me showing you the video, I'm transphobic and I caused harm and violence.
Right, amazing. So there you go. In summary, by showing the video, I caused harm and I'm transphobic. She just wants an answer.
So be it. I can't do anything to control that.
Okay, so that's not something that you have an issue with?
Yeah, because she didn't fucking do it. That's why. She's not caused anyone harm and she's not transphobic. She played a fucking video that challenges ideas. This is insane.
The fact that happened, like...
I mean,
You know what? I don't know who this bloke is, but he sounds like that bloke who was on the that TVO chat with Jordan Peterson, and there's two of them. Sounds like him. I'll have to dig his name out and I'll put it in the description. I'll put a link to that video. Listen to his voice. I think it's him. He hates Jordan Peterson and he talks exactly like this. By exactly like this, I mean the bullshit is dribbling. The bullshit is strong in this one.
I know in my heart, and I know I expressed to the class that I'm not transphobic. And if any of them...
These trans people, I know plenty of trans people, they hate all this shit. They hate the way that so much emphasis has been put on them. The focus is on them. They just want to get on with their lives, and now they're being made out to look like a bunch of whining little sissies. This is ridiculous. They don't want people like this Pratt speaking for them. They keep transphobia. No one cares. You just want the attention. No one gives a fuck. There's plenty of trans people walking around Soho. No one cares. It's like you whipping up a storm. Oh, we're so important. Oh, there's all this. No one's interested. People have got their own lives. Can you imagine? I know. I'm sure you think they're sitting at home plotting how to bring down the trans people.
I don't know. Again, I don't know what they said. But I don't think I gave away any kind of political position of mine. I remained very neutral. And
that's kind of the problem.
That's the end of the video. She said, I remained neutral. And he said, that's kind of the problem. See, if she'd have played that clip and got them all to throw things at it like from 1984, the 2 minutes of hate, if she'd have said, right, I'm going to put Jordan Peterson up on the screen. If anyone here's going to feel threatened or harmed, leave the room. The rest of you just scream at him. And they'd have all been going, no, Ingsoc, no. It would have been fine because her remaining neutral was the problem. Yeah, we don't want that in university. We don't want people coming along with ideas and being neutral about them, for fuck's sake. I'll leave some details in the description, including a link where you could email the university and tell them what you think about their treatment of Lindsay. I think this is a fucking disgrace, man, and I cannot wait for these bullshitters to get chucked back out of the asylum that they've taken over. Patreon me.
中华儿女多旗帜，不爱红装，爱武装。由首都女民兵组成的方队是受阅方队中一道亮丽的风景线。参加受阅的女民兵中有国家公务员、企业职工、社会青年和在